What is up, ladies and gentlemen? Cjthecheesedj here, and we are back with another Total Warhammer video for you guys today. And today, guys, we are playing once again as the Ratty Boys, and we are versing the Wood Elves. And I gotta say, my opponent, Hewitts, mate, you've really done a killer with these builds of yours, man. These skirmishing builds are really, really rough to combat. So guys, we tried our best right now. We were like, alright, so the Wood Elves, they're a very mobile faction. There's a lot of range, a lot of mobility and stuff like that. So we're like, alright, let's try and combat that. Let's try and split up our forces, spread them out so we can kind of thin out his forces and deal with them. So guys, as you can see, we've got quite a spread out army, I believe. We could have probably spread it out more now that I look back at it. But I mean, we were doing our best. So guys, in the front line, we've literally got 4 groups of Skaven slaves. These guys are literally just for meat running straight into them. They're not even going to make a dent, I doubt it. Where most of our money has gone is in the artillery. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4 pieces of artillery. We've got 2 Plague Claw catapults and 2 Warp Lightning cannons, with 1 being the Regiment of Renown. It gets zap zap. As well as that, we've got an Avalanche Mortars over here. We also have Storm Vermin, and I believe another group of Storm Vermin over here protecting this one, as well as the Teeth Breakers. Now, I actually made a mistake. I was not supposed to pick these guys. I was supposed to choose the Warlock Jezzails, the Regiment of Renowned one, and I accidentally picked these guys instead. So I'm like, why aren't these guys firing? And I then realized that these guys are the Teeth Breakers. We then also have the Grey Seer of Ruin with Scorch, Warp Lightning, as well as, I can't remember what the last spell is. Crack's Call. And yeah, Warp Lightning and the dreaded 13th spell as well, which I don't think we actually used because it was a very expensive Winds of Magic. Okay, guys, as for my opponent's force, you can see he's got a very spread out build as well. So 2 groups of Hawk Riders. There's 1 group over here, and I believe there's another group over here. 2 Great Eagles, 1, 2. You can see those guys over there. He also has a Glade Lord up on a Forest Dragon. 4 groups of Glade Guard, all with Hagbane tips. 3 of them with Hagbane tips. And 1 group of just standard Glade Guard, as well as a Spellslinger of Shadows. And up here on the hill, he does also have 3 groups of the Glade Riders, which are essentially more Missile Cavalry, which I absolutely hate Missile Cavalry. It's such a pain in the ass to try and counter. So guys, without further ado, let's get this match underway. So right away, we're like, alright, Plague Claw catapults, they're firing in. I got to try and move them off to fire onto the archers. We send the Skaven slaves in. This one is firing off already. And the Avalanche Mortars are in position and ready to go. And they start firing in, I'm believing, on the Hawk Riders. Possibly missing everything, unfortunately. And you can see that they're already under fire, so that's not doing too good. As for over here, you can see this Great Eagle is already in range of our Warp Lightning Cannon. We do send the Storm Vermin forward, a little bit of friendly fire as well. And these guys are all already under attack. We do spin the Teeth Breakers around. We do drop the artillery pieces, get these guys running away. As for over here, the Great Eagle has landed in the Avalanche Mortars, and I'm too busy dealing with all the stuff over here that I don't actually notice. So the Storm Vermin are a bit slow to react, and you can see that our front line is just absolutely destroyed. The Storm Vermin intercept, and we do manage to move the Avalanche Mortars a little bit further back, while we do scoot forward the Plague Claw catapult. I don't remember what they were chasing after. I believe it was probably that, because I did not set them into guard mode, which I should have. So that was my mistake. And over here, you can see that the Glade Raiders are slowly poking down the Storm Vermin. Warp Lightning Cannons firing in on this Great Eagle. The Teeth Breakers also start firing in, getting that juicy suppression, and just trying to melt through all of that health. But you can see over here, Iked Zap Zap is taking a huge amount of damage, and we are trying to shut down the Glade Lord as well. Luckily, he is busy with the Skaven slaves, but it's now that we notice the Plague Claw catapult has scooted forward too much, and this entire time has not been freaking firing at all. We do manage to rout the Great Eagle and get the Avalanche Mortars back online. They're firing in on the Hawk Riders. I didn't really have any other targets to fire in on. They weren't going to be in range of the Glade Riders, so I was like, there's not really much of a point of trying to maneuver them over there, because chances are they'll get killed, but at the same time, they're really doing nothing to these Hawk Riders. Glade Lord's pretty much on full health. Storm Vermin do manage to chase off the Great Eagle, and at this stage, I do pretty sure I bring them back to protect what we've got left over here. At this stage, I'm like, there's no point in trying to give chase with the Storm Vermin because the Glade Riders will easily be able to outspeed us. So I'm like, let's just stand here, try and soak the damage. They're at half ammunition. If we can absorb most of the damage, we should be alright. Ikid Zap Zap is down. We do send these Storm Vermin after him, and like I said, I'm like, why do we do that for? No point whatsoever. So we bring these guys back, and they're just going to cop a couple of rear charges, as well as archers into the back. Glade Lord is starting to take a bit of damage. Plague Claw Catapult group is coming back online, but the Avalanche Mortars are pretty much shut down. The Storm Vermin are over here. I didn't actually move them back, and the Great Eagle is chasing after them. They've actually done nothing to these Hawk Riders, so in hindsight, I really should have moved them over here to try and deal with some of this cavalry, because, yeah, there's just so much of it. And you can see we do pop Arcane Conduit. I think we pop a Warp Lightning on something, probably trying to aim at the Glade Lord. But you can see our strategy is definitely not working already, and huge amount of damage coming in on the Warp Lightning Cannon, and I believe that's our last artillery piece. Yeah, that is pretty much it for our artillery piece, and you can see the Great Eagle does go in. Pit of Shades opening up on the Storm Vermin, absolutely destroying them. They just get absolutely taken into the Shadow Realm by that. Look at that, an entire 2 units destroyed. We do try to bring the Teeth Breakers over here to shoot into the Glade Lord. And you can see they fire 1 bullet. Here we go. Now they're firing. I don't know if it's because the range of sight isn't blocked, so I don't know why they don't fire for. And at this stage, they do turn around, and we're trying to position everything. And a Prey of Anethorama drops on the Storm Vermin, the Grey Seer, and the Warp Lightning Cannon. But you can see these Teeth Breakers are dealing damage to the Glade Lord. I reckon we would probably been able to kill this guy if we did bring Natty Bubo's Sharpshooters. And you can see with this Glade Lord is taking damage. So he spins around, pops a Breath Attack on these guys, and I'm like, let's move them. In hindsight, I should have kept them there and just kept firing, because he does come in with the charge. But we do maneuver both groups of Storm Vermin over here, and we're like, we're not out of this yet. These guys are almost out of ammo. We've still got our Storm Vermin. They're their anti-large capabilities. These guys are over here taking on the Spellslinger of Shadows on his horse, so they should deal the anti-large bonus as well. And we're just trying to shut down the Glade Lord and the Great Eagle. We've got 2 groups of Storm Vermin here, but you can see the Glade Guard do come in and start firing. I do believe we send our Warp Lightning Cannon crew after them. No, we send them after the dragon, and we've got no means to finish off the Glade Lord, so he's essentially able to escape while on 700 health. 700 health. Can you imagine? So we're kicking ourselves right now. The Shadow Sorcerer is getting pretty much shot down. Thanks to the Storm Vermin here, they're able to pretty much rout her off, but I'm pretty sure she comes back. Anyway, and you can see the Glade Lord's up in the sky, 750 goddamn health. We were so close to finishing it off. Majority of his units are out of ammo though, which is a real good bonus for us, and pretty much all that's left is the Hawk Riders and the Glade Riders. But like I said, they are out of ammo. We do have 2 groups of Storm Vermin left with their anti-large capabilities, and you can see the balance of power is kind of in the middle here. So I'm like, alright, let's just try and get all our forces nice and close together. Try and get some of these Glade Riders in, and you can see my opponent does pop a Breath Attack, but he skims the Storm Vermin and they actually start routing, and I'm like, great. That is just what I needed. So we're trying to bring these guys in, make a sort of as much of a formation as we possibly can. And did my opponent just come in and destroy that last Warp Lightning Cannon? I think he did. We do pop Death Frenzy. I don't know why. I think we were just trying to get the immune to Psych so that they don't rout or anything, and we can actually deal with the Glade Lord. He's over here, 744 health, but you can see these guys are pretty much out for the count. They say immune to Psych, but they are sort of routing, and the Glade Lord is able to just fly up in the sky, and at this stage he's pretty much just able to pick apart majority of my forces. The Storm Vermin taking a decent amount of damage from that charge, and you can see that they are just charging in, and they're just going to cycle charge me until we're dead. His forces vastly outnumber mine. Our Grey Seer is on full health, but I mean, we've got no Winds of Magic at this stage. I'm pretty sure we'd use it or try to shut down the Glade Lord. We do get a juicy Warp Lightning strike on the Glade Lord, but it only deals 200 damage, and I was really proud of that because he was moving and stuff, and I'm like, alright, cast it right here, see if we can hit him. I managed to hit him. Doesn't manage to kill him though. And you can see that pretty much all we've got left is this Grey Seer. And force of power, power meter is pretty much just ebbing into my opponent's favor little by little. All we've got left is this Gracie, and a single charge from the dragon is enough to end it. And just like that, guys, we do end the fight with another loss. And that pit of shadows really dealt a real large amount of damage to us. And you can see the amount of damage and kills that my opponent got in comparison to ours. In hindsight, there are a lot of things I could have done better. I should have set the catapults onto guard mode so that they wouldn't chase, and we could have potentially taken out the rest of these archers. As well as that, we didn't really protect our warp lightning cannons, and we didn't have any means to deal with all this skirmishing. Like, he didn't have any infantry forces. It was all just skirmishers. So, yeah, my opponent's really found his niche here with the builds that he's been making, so kudos to him. Another win to him. But, yeah, guys, that's going to wrap up the video for today. So, thank you very much for watching. Hopefully, you guys enjoyed it. If you did, don't forget to leave a like. Subscribe down below for more. But other than that, I will catch you in the next one.